In 2019, the Washington Nationals hoisted the Commissioner's Trophy, defeating the Houston Astros in 7 games to win the World Series. Since then, things have not turned out at all the same, with their roster being almost completely turned over and a batch of fresh new faces taking the field. It seems they have very quickly rebuilt their system and core with a bunch of new guys. It did come with some growing pains, trading away multiple franchise pieces, but it seems it may have worked out for them already. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Flighty Sampson. I got another video here for you today. I'm going to be talking about what I think is the outfield of the future in Major League Baseball. I'm probably overhyping these guys just a little bit, probably ignoring some of their flaws, maybe more than I should be. I don't care. Let's get excited. Baseball season is almost here. Really hyped for one of these guys. The guy I'm going to be talking about first. I think he's crazy. I think people overlook what he did last season. One of these guys is probably average, probably just going to be average, but as a Pirates fan, I can tell you that an average player is so good. You don't never take an average player for granted, especially when they do some things very well. And the other guy, probably a little bit of a wild card maybe. Could have some good success, maybe didn't show it in a limited sample size, but probably still equally as hyped as the other guy. Thank you guys again so much for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, tell me what you think, tell me what you're excited for. Again, baseball season is almost here. I'll see you at the end. As I said, the first guy I could be most excited about, and that is going to be James Wood, projected left fielder for the Nationals for the coming seasons. Wood is an absolute athletic freak. He's a 6'7" lefty who also has some good speed. And in 79 games in the 2024 season, he flashed some of his potential, posting a 122 OPS plus and a 1.1 WAR with 9 home runs and 14 stolen bases. It's probably best to get what I think are the slight concerns out of the way first so that I can continue to sing his praises. Probably the most alarming thing, he has got to learn how to lift the ball. He had the lowest launch angle of any player in baseball with at least 300 plate appearances at 2.4%. This contributed to a very high ground ball rate as well. With how hard he is able to hit the ball, his barrel rate is not as high because of this inability to lift the ball. He is a tall guy. He's also a rookie. He's got a longer swing just by default. It's probably going to take him a little bit more time to sync everything up and make sure he's getting underneath the ball. As I said, in about half a season, he did have 9 home runs. That number could be as high as 30 or 40 if he figures out how to put the ball into the air. Possibly in relation to this ground ball rate, his BABIP was a little on the higher side at 365. So there could be room for some regression there. Again, around 300 is about league average. You could see the batting average dip, but he wasn't like a Mendoza line guy. He hit 260 last season. One last little bit of concern, the defense in left field did not grade out very well according to outs above average. I watched some of the plays. Some of these balls were just really in between him and the infield, maybe getting a few more reps in the big leagues, a little bit of nerves, maybe taking bad routes. I think the defense can grade out to average. The arm also wasn't that great for how big he is, so I think he could take a little bit of a step in the right direction, but I don't think it's as bad as it necessarily graded out to be. Especially when he's as fast as he is. Like I said, 14 stolen bases, 85th percentile sprint speed. He's a big guy. He's going to steal some bases. He should be able to play some pretty good defense in left. And even if the defense isn't that great, the guy we'll get to in a minute should help him out. Alright, so the other good markers. As I said, he hit the ball insanely hard. Good things usually happen when you hit the ball that hard. The walk rate's also pretty impressive. Again, I don't think he's necessarily 3 true outcome, but if he is, this is a good start. An 11.6% walk rate, that's very good. The K rate wasn't great, pretty bad actually at 28.9. He's a rookie, he's a big guy, he's a power hitter. I think that's always going to be a little bit of a problem, but I'm not too worried about it. Because he also seems to have a pretty good understanding of the strike zone. The chase rate was at 21%. That's pretty elite. That's very good, especially when you're a rookie. You haven't seen as many pitches as everybody else. If he can hold that line, he's going to be great in terms of getting on base and not swinging at bad pitches. I am going to work my way across the outfield. Moving on to center, we have Jacob Young. Now, Young is a little bit unlike the other guys. He has 1 full season under his belt. He's also different because of how he's going to be able to contribute to the team. The bat is okay. It's below league average, an 86 OPS plus last season. but the defense and the speed that he has more than makes up for the shortcomings on the offensive side. Young had 20 outs above average playing center field last season. That was first percentile. If I could make a little bit of a critique, the arm strength is about average, and StatCast actually graded it below average last season. But again, the speed, he's going to be able to get to a lot of balls that not everybody would, especially maybe if James Wood does end up not being the defender that he could be. Like I said, he's not the best offensive guy, but he does have tools. He can steal a lot of bases. He stole 33 bags last year and 94th percentile in Baseball Savant's base running run value. If he could get on a little bit more to utilize that speed, that would be ideal, but he's a little old school. He actually had the most bunts in baseball last season, which is pretty neat. Young will at least give you a competitive at-bat as well. The strikeout rate is actually not that bad, 19.6%. That's above average. He could walk a little bit more. 5.8% walk rate isn't great, and then that K to walk rate isn't great. Biggest concern is probably the slug. A 256 batting average, a 316 on base, and a 331 slug. That actually gave him the lowest ISO in baseball last season. There is a lot of blue on the Baseball Savant page. The expected numbers are not the greatest. If he can stay where he's at, play the same defense, work on getting that stolen base ratio a little bit higher, he's a very good player. He's like a 3-WAR player. There is a place for a defensive center fielder. I think he could win a Gold Glove. I think the other possible Gold Glover is in right field, and that is going to be Dylan Cruz. Cruz was up in the majors a little bit of last season, not enough to take away his rookie or prospect status. He is still the number 4 ranked prospect according to MLB Pipeline. He probably has a little bit more question marks than James Wood or what you could get from Jacob Young, but he's probably got the most upside between them as well. If everything clicks from what I have seen, what people project, he's a 30-30 guy who could also be a Gold Glover. He did play center field in the minors. I don't think he's going to push Jacob Young out of center. He's got a good arm. He's got good speed. He did win a Gold Glove in the minor leagues. The defense last year graded out at 3 outs above average. Sprint speed was 93rd percentile. Also, very good arm strength. Another little positive sign for Dylan Cruz, he did underperform his expected statistics. He didn't have a high BABIP. I think there's a lot of room for positive regression for him coming into next season. And last season, in a very limited time of 31 games, didn't go the greatest. He did still put up a .6 WAR, and he had 12 steals to 3 home runs. That 12 steals at that pace, it's 60 a season, which could be amazing. Jacob Young had 33 last year. James Wood had 14. I really think you could get 100 out of these guys in the right season with the new rules. Kind of the same problems that plagued James Woods briefly showed for Dylan Cruz as well. He had an even higher ground ball rate, even though the launch angle was a little bit higher. The bat speed is there. If both of them can just elevate a little bit more, they should see a lot more extra base hits. He had a 19.7 K rate. That was above average. He had an 8.3% walk rate. That was about average. The hard hit rate was above average. Barrel rate below just because of, like I said, the launch angles. Best case scenario is that probably 2 of these guys are all-stars. Maybe 2 of them win Gold Gloves. The NL East is such an interesting division. I don't think the Nationals challenge for a playoff spot this season. I don't even know if it happens next season. But I do think that if they can keep this core and keep building their pitching staff, maybe next season they can challenge for one, but definitely the season after. A lot of things can happen. There's more wild card spots now. I don't think anybody in the NL Central is going to get a wild card. Everybody in the NL West could beat each other up, and that could also happen in the NL East too. So there it is, guys. That is the outfield of the future. At least, I kind of hope so. I kind of think so. They're going to have a lot of challenges to face in that division of theirs. I really hope they all get to stick together. I hope they all take on great career paths. You never know what's going to happen in baseball. These guys could all be out in like a year, or they could all make the Hall of Fame. Very unlikely, but there's so many different outcomes any player can have. They got to get up, put the work in every single day. I think each one of them has talent to be very, very good ball players. Let me know what you think. Let me know what else I should talk about. Make sure to leave a like and a comment. Subscribe to my channel. I'm going to keep more of these coming as we get closer. Still kind of staying consistent on these. Thank you guys again so much for watching. I have been Flighty Sampson, and I will see you next time.